This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fully Managed by Penji podcast, the podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you in your business journey. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partnership coordinator, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest, Islin Munisteri from Theia Strategies. Thank you so much for coming on with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So could you please tell me a little bit about your agency, kind of where it is at its cycle, and kind of your day-to-day and what kind of work you do?
Sure. So I run a HubSpot RevOps agency with my partner. We specialize in really helping nonprofits, government, technology, and SaaS folks implement, onboard onto HubSpot. And also, we have ongoing services with HubSpot. And then we also do APIs like the Bullhorn integration with HubSpot. And we also code websites on the HubSpot CMS. So we're all in one technical HubSpot shop. And what I do day to day is that I'm focused on I would say the sales side and operations and making sure the agency is running smoothly. Prospecting, trying to do that every day, knock on wood. And also, making sure we stay ahead of our accounting and our project management.
Fantastic. So how did you decide to specialize in HubSpot specifically? Was this something that you started out doing or kind of something that you adjusted naturally to because you realized you were good at it?
Yeah, so in the beginning, um, my partner actually started as an engineering firm, realized he liked it more as a marketing, the engineering. And so we went into marketing, but marketing has so much you can do within it. Um, and then I realized I had used HubSpot for a nonprofit before. So we became HubSpot partners. Um, and the rest is history. And we've loved doing business with HubSpot. Um, and we've gotten quite good at the platform. So that's how we started and became HubSpot partners since 2018.
That's great. So it seems like you kind of like found your niche. So a lot of agencies really strive to find. So it's really great that you're able to kind of get to that point where you're specializing in something that you're really good at.
Yeah. I mean, we found we don't like we can do content and marketing strategy built in HubSpot. We can do that, but we're really good at the technical aspects of HubSpot, like account structure, parent-child relationships, entity relationship diagrams, coding. It's the CMS, the coding and integration. Um, I find that we're really good at the technical aspects of HubSpot. So that that's where we'll stick. There'll be other agencies that can do demand generation or Google ads or Facebook ads, but we just focus on technical HubSpot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of people that use HubSpot. So, and there's continuously more and more people that are signing up for it and using the software. So it's good that you're able to always be there for those people. And it's not like it's not a limited source. So it's really great because you're always guaranteeing incoming customers.
Yeah, I think like HubSpot's always focused on like, growing their base and protecting their current base of customers, or growing new business and protecting that. So the current base of customers. So yeah, it's a good partnership.
So how did you okay, so we kind of briefly talked about this before our call, but how did you come up with your name? Like, what is it inspired by? Is it just something that are you interested in space, or was it like an idea that you kind of came up with your partner like before you had started, when you were kind of brainstorming maybe ideas for naming it?
Yeah, our kids are actually named after Greek gods and goddesses, and um, with Thea, we liked the story of Thea. So Thea is the ancient Greek Titan goddess of sight and the shining ether of the bright blue sky, which uh, she's like associated with the sunrise and bringing light to problems, and that's what we do. We bring chaos to calm, right? So that's it, what we enjoy doing. Um, we take a struggling HubSpot portal and a business process and really improve it to make sure every part of the process is working as it should.
Yeah, I really like that you were inspired by this, like an interest of yours, and then you also implemented that into your business. I think that makes a business unique and personal to the person, and I really like that. Um, it's nice to be able to. It's also really cool because it's a unique design for your website, which I feel like is really cool because it makes it stand out amongst other maybe competitors or people that do something similar to you. I really I notice a unique website when I see one, because I look at websites all day. So it's nice to see something that's new and something that catches my eye. So I like that you were able to implement um a niche interest into something that is attractive to customers, and something that's kind of fun and new.
Yeah, I like so we came out of engineering in the oil field, and my partner is really into space, uh, and the whole engineering space race and everything, all the history behind it. Um, and so that's why we have a space themed website, and our brand is uh, you know based on space, because if you can take a man to the moon. And there's this saying, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. This saying from Les Brown. So, that's what we're aiming for. So,
That's awesome. That's a good place to strive for. It also shows that you're it's a good, it's a good motto to have for your customers to not only to have that theme that's being unique, but also it comes with a lot of terms and phrases that are really positive for your goals for a client as well. So that's awesome. So something that I was curious about, okay, so do you spend a lot of time on, I see differences in this when talking to agencies. Do you spend a lot of time on marketing yourself, or are you kind of more in the interest of focusing all of your resources into your business, making sure that that's up to snuff, so that maybe clients that are happy with your work will then refer someone? Like, do you focus more energy on trying to get incoming customers and clients, or do you kind of focus more on the clients that you have and getting kind of lead generation from those people through a referral kind of base?
I mean, I feel like you really need to have both,
Mhm.
which is incredibly difficult as an agency, because, you'll be prospecting one day and then you'll be project managing another day. And it's just very difficult to prioritize sales, right? But I think Um, your current base of customers is great, but there will be layoffs, there will be um, folks that just I wouldn't say can't pay your bills, but prioritize other things. So you have to always be selling, um, and then also sell the multiple niches too. So it's not. I would say it's both. You really need to have both going on because you need to maintain your current client base, which is how you're going to pay your AP and payroll, your accounts payable and payroll, right? But you also need to have always be constantly feeding what I would call the accounts receivable bus as well, right? So you gotta have both sales and project delivery going on at the same time. Because if you don't, then that's how a lot of agencies find themselves out of business because they lose one or two big clients and then it's the end.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're constantly prospecting, constantly, I would say doing sales, having good things coming out on LinkedIn, um, then I think you can bridge the gap and make it through any market conditions or any economic issues that are happening is to always be selling, but while also maintaining your current client base, you have to do both.
You Okay, so how is your I definitely agree with you, by the way. I think that doing both is something that's really important. I know that some agencies prioritize one or the other, depending on what's working for them. But so if you do both, then what is your strategy for lead generation coming? You mentioned LinkedIn briefly. Is that something that you utilize a lot in your work when looking for new clients or potential sales?
Yeah, it's really, like when I'm prospecting, right? When you need to have like an ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, um, and then uh, just the prospect, right? I recommend Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. Um, to start, there's also a book called Cold Calling Sucks, which is by the folks who founded 30 Minutes to President's Club. So I mean, I mean, it's easy to hate sales until you realize it's feeding your paycheck, right? And then you look at some of the tech executives you read on their LinkedIn profiles. They're bringing in $1 million a year um, to their companies just by one seller, right? So I mean, that would be nice to have one seller scaled agency to like 1 million, right? Um, but that's really what it takes, I think, is really a mixture of prospecting, um, referrals, networking, but it's really having more of that outbound process, and then you can drive inbound process for optimizing your services pages and landing pages and that type of thing. But um, yeah, I mean, I would say it's all work. Like, I wouldn't say you start an agency to dodge out of work. Like, it's all work. You have to do.
Yeah, that's the downside. Sorry that you're gonna say continue with that. That's
No worries.
the downside of yeah, I guess it's the downside and the upside because it's kind of fun at the same time. But the downside of an agency is the fact that there's always work. Like it doesn't, especially if you're providing a service that keeps coming and coming. It's not like you're not gonna. There's never gonna be a lull where it's just especially if you're doing good work, there's gonna be people that are keep coming in, and that's good for your agency, but it's also, it's always a process, and everything keeps changing and adjusting in the marketing world, so you constantly have to, factor in these new things and implement those in your work and kind of keep readjusting and pivoting to make sure that your clients are happy, and so it's a process that continues to go and go, but, yeah, I agree that you don't just stop ever.
Yeah,
Um
you can't just. stop. And if you do stop, like that is problematic unless you have a team, like a dedicated team that like, keeps on going for you. But as a small agency, you don't necessarily have that. So,
Exactly.
and then you also have to make sure that the quality of work that you're doing is, what you said you would do. Um, so
Yeah, no, I definitely, yeah, you can get someone in the door, but if you're not doing what you promised, then obviously they're not gonna be very happy, and you're not only get a referral, but you might lose a client in the process as well, so you have to make sure that everything's up to snuff, for sure. So, um, it's okay. So I haven't run into a lot of agencies that specifically do work as niche as yours for HubSpot specifically, which I think is really cool and interesting. I like to talk to different sects of people or agencies that do different things because I learn a lot from that. So could you walk me through, there's, like, things that I was unfamiliar about on your page. I wanted to be able to, discuss that with you because I thought it'd be interesting. Can you walk me through a HubSpot audit? Like, what are some examples of things that you do during this process? I know you might not wanna reveal too much, your secret sauce, if you will, but, if you could touch on that, I think I'd be really interested.
yeah, so the point of a HubSpot audit is to really identify gaps in how you're using HubSpot and identify gaps in your business process. Um, it's, whether that's like marketing, sales, service, or your entire revenue operations, how it's connected to accounting and finance. Um, but in an audit, it should answer, is your lead routing performing as it should? Is your lead scoring, if you're that advanced, like, is it actually delivering leads at the right time to sales, or is it just is it just magically adding points and like nothing is happening? Um, I mean, is your so that's like, the workflows and automation side. Is your are is your marketing tools being fully utilized? Right? Are you using all your, I guess, landing pages, website pages, like, is that converting folks? Like, is your website converting traffic? Um, are your content offers, uh, creating, you know, creating leads basically? On your sales side, is the sales team adequately using HubSpot? Do they It's not do they understand the sequencing tools, but, for example, is the vacation lead routing set up correctly? Um, or is, you know, or are people's calls scheduling set up so that they can accept calls into their HubSpot phone number properly? Um, you know, is the like really, really small technical details that people overlook when they're setting up their HubSpot portal, but then when you're trying to actually the end user's trying to use it, like, "Oh, I can't accept HubSpot calls." It's because you don't have a call schedule, like an office hours set up or something like that. Um, and then on the Service Hub, are you using the NPS surveys? Are you using the CSAT surveys, customer satisfaction surveys? Um, is that being sent, every X number of days to clients and customers? Are they happy with your product or service? Um, you know, um, are tickets, like, if you have like a ticket routing process in your customer service team, are all the tickets being routed properly? Are they being followed up with in a certain amount of time? Um, that type of thing. Um, And then, going back to marketing, is your email health okay? Is your open rate and click-through rate in like the red zone or the green zone, right? Like, it's just really understanding how you're using your entire HubSpot portal, um, and then identifying gaps in your in your business process, where it's not like where things aren't being, I would say things are always being done, but are they done the right way? Are there too many fields that a sales rep has to fill out before they can put in a deal? And they're just like, completely skipping it. Um, you know, like little process issues that really impact reporting for leadership, right? Like when a leader looks at a dashboard, they're like, oh, I see there's issues with this, or we're not following up with leads fast enough from the sales side on our inbound leads, or something's you know happening, and usually there's like a data problem, or there's like a property that wasn't created, or something like that so the data wasn't even being captured for the reporting to happen. So it's being really clear on your lead stages, um your deal stages, your pipeline stages, defining those so that your entire team understands what they mean, how to use them. But I mean, HubSpot audits, usually uncover a lot of gaps in how they're using HubSpot. So um, with us, we usually do audits as part of like a solutions architecture. If you're already um, using HubSpot, it's just to see how you're using it, and then we basically re-engineer HubSpot to fit current business process so that you can go for it. And if you're implementing like a new sales process or a new service process, we can help you get that set up in HubSpot right the first time, so that there's no gaps in data being put in, no gaps in reporting, and the and the tool that you're using, HubSpot, performs as it should.
Yeah, it seems like, well, you're the expert, so it should be this way, I'm sure, but it seems like you're very, very well versed in the different intricacies that go into using the software. And I think that um that's not only a testament to how thorough you must be, but also it kind of shows how maybe complex this is for people to be using by themselves, and how helpful someone like you is to be able to assist navigating the software. Because I think a lot of things when you look at data, I agree what you touched on with like maybe it's not collecting it correctly. It's hard to look at something and it seems very cut and dry that the data is showing something, but you don't know why. So it's nice to be able to have someone like you be able to go in and explain like, oh, this isn't because of something you did, or this is because of something you did, or this isn't because of something you did purposely, or different things like that. Or like this isn't collecting this correctly at all, and it really doesn't show anything that is crucial to your growth. So it's good to be able to know those things and have that expertise to be able to explain that, but also make sure that the results can be better next time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always I would say it's always an iterative process. Like, you plan, you do, and then you learn, and then you just keep on going. Um, there's also, you know, um, I would say in sales, right? You make commitments or little promises to yourself that you'll do this today, and then you ask yourself whether or not you've done it, right? And so that's really, what any company is built on is, making the promises and the commitments to yourself, and then executing each day. Um, and that's how we move forward. So
That's good. The little promises are really good, and it's also a way to keep you accountable and keep growing and learning. And I like that in an agency for sure. So, during this process that you discussed, what are some things that you do uniquely to guarantee a business's growth that you think would be different than maybe someone that does something like yours?
I mean, I unfortunately I cannot guarantee growth for any business.
Mm.
I can't guarantee donors. I cannot guarantee any of that. Um, like RevOps is really about people, process, and technology, right? And we can help you with the process, like your basic process of marketing. Are all the leads being routed correctly? Are your lead stages being set? Like, is your landing page and thank you page and forms all set up correctly? Right? We can help you with the process and the technology in HubSpot, but we cannot and even in a sense, like we can even help with the people because our people are implementing HubSpot or doing ongoing HubSpot services for you. But it's it's really up to the internal teams um, at times to really, keep on doing the process that we set up. Right? It's up to them to keep on, sending sales sequences or making phone calls if they're in sales. It's up up to them in marketing to we can set up campaigns, we can set up the landing pages, but it's up to them to have the Google ads or the LinkedIn ads or the networking events or whatever it may be to drive those leads uh, through the funnel. Right? We can set up the process and the technology no problem, but it's really up to the business, right, to drive growth. We can set up the process and the tech for that, um, but it's we are not your outsourced marketing team. For a while there, we said we were their outsourced marketing team, and we did content and SEO and Google ads and everything under the sun, right, until we niched down to HubSpot. But um, I mean, you see a lot of companies that gotten money, investor money, venture capital or private equity money during COVID. Um, and many of them are shutting their doors now because they couldn't grow, because they couldn't, they ran out of money, right? And so you gotta, that's why I'm saying your accounting process and keeping your customers happy and all of that is so very important to growth, because you got to maintain your current customer base and keep them happy, and then also grow on top of that to through sales and marketing um to get there. But it's like I can't be your company, right? Like, your company succeeds or fails because of the people you hired, the processes we helped set up or didn't set up. Like, it's I wish I could say I was responsible for growth, but I mean our retainers would be a lot bigger because then we'd be we charge a percentage of your growth, but it's not it's often not that simple. Growth is I mean, everyone knows how to grow, right? But can you successfully execute it? That's because the formulas and all of that, all the playbooks, all of that is out there on the internet, on ChatGPT, on YouTube. It is all out there, but you have to be able to shape the process that's unique to your business, unique to what you're selling, whether it's a product or a service or a campaign or or a movement, right? It, I can't guarantee your growth for you.
Yeah, no, I like the transparency with that too. Like, I think a lot of people will overpromise things like that, where you're just kind of like, you are doing a service that can certainly assist people with agency growth, but if they are not continuously practicing and implementing what you started for them, then there's no guarantee, or it's even probably unlikely that they'll continue to grow if they're not continuing with this. So there's a lot of responsibility on the client to be able to be proactive with doing this. And I think it's important to say that, because I think a lot of agencies will guarantee things that they can't guarantee. And that's that I'm sure that might bring in clients if they're guaranteed some certain thing, but then they'll leave unhappy because they realize that, oh, they didn't set us up. You're setting them up for success, whereas other agencies maybe might not be setting them up for success. They just promise something that they can't guarantee down the line, because they're doing this thing that might work for this isolated period, but it might not work for the long run. So it's good to note that.
Yeah, and I would say that, I feel like everyone, right? And it myself included, is looking for that magical silver bullet that will magically generate like 10K a month. For if you're selling like a product or something, it'll magically generate X number of dollars a month, right? And then there is, there's masterminds, there's books, there's all sorts of things that say, if you do this, you will get there. But it goes back to, as an engineering, the first principles of marketing, sales, and customer success. Keep your customers happy, prospect every day to like the right people, um, and have the right messaging and marketing and sales. And I mean, it's like the formula for success is well understood, right? But it's the implementation part that's where a lot of agencies and everything diverge, because every like if one graphic design like will save your company, it's like, yeah, but it's not, right? Or
We
one
would love to promise
mastermind,
that.
yeah, one mastermind group will like unearth you out of your current issues. It's like, no,
It's not true.
no, it's not true. You need to do the work consistently, day in and day out, and that's what gets you out of a hole, or that's what gets you new clients, or that's what um whatever issue that you're facing, or challenge that you're facing right now. It's doing the work consistently, day in and day out, right? That's the sales. Like, if you don't, right? I think in fanatical prospecting, like you'll see your efforts from prospecting the first 30 days for the next 90 days, right? So if you stop prospecting for like a month, and you'll be hurting for 3 months after that, right? So just, it's, I mean, that's why HubSpot hires account executives, right? That's why we have salespeople, we have marketing people, we have customer success people. Like, everyone's doing their job consistently to make sure the company is running successfully. And if you're missing any one of those things, pretty soon you'll see the gap, and then you'll be trying to fill that gap.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. And I think that's a great sentiment to end on, because I think, it emphasizes hard work on the agency side too. There's not a cure all for its lead generation or agency growth. You have to put in the work regularly, all day, every day, to continue to see the outcome that you want. And that you can get help along the way to be able to, make it more likely to reach your goals. But I think that, you have to really work at it. And that's the important part of being an agency. So
Yep. And
yeah,
there are components of luck involved,
of
right? But
course.
you need to be
Marketing is
you
a
need to be
gamble.
positioned. Yeah, you need positioned in the right way to capture
Hmm.
upon, to get that luck, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's luck and hard work, right? Like, some people make millions in sales because they just capitalized upon the right market condition that their product they were selling were like Zoom, right? Like they just came about in the pandemic and everyone needed it. And so they made billions. Like,
Yep. They
so-
did great. It was luck.
Yeah, sometimes there's luck, but a lot of times there's hard work too.
Exactly. The pandemic, a lot of people got lucky and a lot of people got unlucky. So, things like that happen all the time and it's insane. But yeah, you can project things, through hard work, no matter what. Hopefully you'll always stay afloat. So thank you so much. I'm so sorry to cut this short, but this is all the time we have for today. I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. This is absolutely incredible. I love talking to niche agencies specifically because I get to learn new things. I will repetitively keep saying this throughout all the podcasts. I love learning new things. It's my favorite thing. So thank you so much for being able to, chat with me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks for having me, Shannon.
Of course. And thank you everyone at home for watching or listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more professionals like Islin and be able to learn like I do every day. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.